Hey everyone, welcome today. Today I'm here with my dear friends Wolfgang and Alexander, and we are going to talk about everything bean. We're just going to go with the flow. We don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we've got three amazing beans here right now, and we're just going to go with that. We're going to be together and talk and have a great time, and you're here because I'm pretty sure you're going to find some gold on how to upgrade your life throughout our conversation today. So pay attention.
That's a given. That's a given.
Yes, it is.
And guys, this is all scripted, all absolutely 1000% planned, right? We have all like lines we have to say.
And of course, he's joking. We have nothing here. There's no teleprompter. There's no words behind the screen. We're going completely off book. This is completely random.
This is all scripted. Yes.
Yeah. So guys, you guys all know me as Schmaltzy. Have I ever told you guys the story of how that came to be?
Not yet. Share. Ooh, not on live stream.
It's got to be live. It's got to be. So when I was 17, I went on an exchange program to Germany. I was in Germany for a month. And while I was there, all the guys started calling me Schmaltzy. And I was like, I just thought they were playing on my last name because my last name is Schmaltz. And so we just kind of went with the flow. And then a year later, my host brother from over there came back to the States and stayed with me. And he started calling me Schmaltzy again. And I was like, well, Schmaltzy. So I asked him, I'm like, Marcus, what is that? And he's like, oh, you didn't know? I said, no. He's like, because when you were over there, you were trying to flirt with all the girls and you had the worst, cheesiest, sappiest pickup lines ever. And so that's when he explained to me that the word Schmaltzy in German means to be overly sappy or cheesy, like a joke is cheesy. And so at 18, I was like all offended. I'm like, what? I'm like, I was upset about that. And then fast forward 20 years. And when I was started getting into coaching, I was trying to look at what makes me different, what makes me unique to everybody else. And I had a dream one night about that experience, about him explaining that to me and being called Schmaltzy. And I woke up and I'm like, that's it. That's me. I am Schmaltzy. That is me in a nutshell. And I've owned it ever since.
Awesome intro. I love that. Absolutely love that. And I love you, Schmaltzy. That guy is really, guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's absolutely freaking incredible. Just if you don't know who Tony is, just go check him out. Go watch what he is sharing. She is sharing pure gold. Mm-hmm. I'm meaning every single word right now.
Yeah.
Just go check him out. We've been on a live stream this week a couple of times already. And the topic is miracles creation. I used to have very, very weird, non-useful understanding and definition of a miracle. Like, what is this? Like Santa? I don't really believe in Santa anymore. Or like any like fairy tales or like Peter Pan. What are we talking? I'm an adult human being, an adult man. Right? I don't believe in this stuff. So until I actually I came across a very different definition of a miracle, which is literally something someone thinks is not possible.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that was, so I'm in the business of creating miracles. Some people call it coaching. This is not about me. It is not even about Tony. We have a guest today, a very special guest, Wolfgang. I want to introduce. Some of you know him. Wolfgang is a true master and a lifelong student of breathing, breath work, and being.
Yes.
I love this guy. Every time I'm in the presence of Wolfgang, I absolutely massively benefit from this. Not joking. And how I got to know Wolfgang is actually in May last year when I sent a message to Steve Hardison, who is referred to as the ultimate coach. Go Google him. A legend in our field of work. Or in my field of work, rather. He called me out of the blue. We spoke. This conversation changed my life. I don't want to tell more about this, but happy to share on another stream about the story because I'm different. And my life told me, my wife, my wonderful, incredible wife, the love of my life told me, hey, you're somehow seem to be more alive. Call, which is, can you imagine something better than being more alive? And to give you even more context, without breath work, without, some people call it meditation, conscious breathing, mindfulness, this stuff literally saved my life. Maybe we can look at later this stuff, but I'm here because of this.
Right.
And a master of this stuff is Wolfgang.
Yes.
So we have really special guest, and who connected me to Wolfgang is the wonderful, the one and only, the ultimate coach, Steve Hardison. He said you get to know Wolfgang. I think he's from Austria. You guys, you will love each other. You absolutely have to get to know him. So this is how I originally connected to Wolfgang. Wolfgang, do you want to say anything?
Well, first of all, I'm absolutely excited to be here. I want to acknowledge you both. I came kind of accidentally to watch these two last sessions you made last week, and when I saw you and Tony, I wanted to connect to Tony. We wanted to meet 2 weeks ago, and we saw each other a while before. And actually, since I'm in the Ultimate Coach, Tony, you were there before, and since I'm here since Mumbai, you actually were less active. So we actually were not in the same spaces. And just recently, I don't know, we reached out to each other and we wanted to meet, and it didn't happen. So I saw these two sessions and absolute compliment. That was just amazing. What you in this Doppelkonferenz, in this conversation you had, in this natural, and I feel so great here. But and I'm consciously a little bit, I'm present and I enjoy the energy. And I think it's not about three guys speaking. I just love how you two are resonating with each other, and I just enjoy the energy being here. So, and that is the breath. The breath is present. The breath is present. You don't need to watch the breath. You cannot forget to breathe. So the breath can be entirely in the background, and the breath can be absolutely the present, the thing in the center. And when you put it in the center, something special happens. So thank you very much for the invitation. I'm so excited to be here. The story how we met with Steve, it's just exactly how it was. And then the beautiful thing was we had a meeting, an appointment, I think Saturday at 4 we met, Alexander and I, the first time. We spoke. For me, a conversation with somebody new is always just go in without idea what it.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm curious in who you are being. When somebody comes referred from Steve to me, I'm curious. Who is that guy?
Right.
Who is that guy who Steve called and just said, please talk to Wolfgang? And so I was open and just curious and listened. And during this conversation, we came about breathing, as we just also heard it. Breathing was very important in your life, Alexander. And I would like to hear more. I would like to hear more what was like saving.
Yeah.
And in this conversation, at the end, I asked Alexander if he would stay the next hour with us, because at Saturday 5, we have the weekly breathing. And he said, I'm available. I'm a yes. So he was straight in the breathing, and a week later, we were together in Birmingham.
Great.
Exactly.
That's great. And that's amazing. And I that's one thing I do want to join your breathing sessions. It's just so far our calendars haven't aligned on that. And
you have a chance today to experience it. If we can bribe, or can we bribe Wolfgang, or can we intimidate him into doing his magic with us or something?
We might be able to get that. We might be able to make that happen. We can be very convincing.
Yeah, you know, I was born in Russia, right? I came to Germany with 17, so Russians are usually great with bribing, intimidating, all sorts of stuff. Wolfgang, I can convince you, Wolfgang. Brace yourself.
Before we get into that
conversation,
I want to acknowledge you, Wolfgang. I mean, we were just talking about it before we went live, that it's a real testament to the power that you have and the power that you provide, the power of breathing. And that's actually the title of what you're going to be speaking about next week. To be invited to speak at an event like the Ultimate Experience is a very big deal. And that's a very big honor. And I'm proud of you, even though we're just meeting for the first time today. I want to acknowledge and tell you that I'm proud of you for doing that, for being there in that presence with those folks. You two are going to get to hug each other next week, and I'm going to be virtually hugging you guys from a distance. So it's but it's
Maybe I can bribe and intimidate you to just come for 5 minutes, give me a hug, and sit back in your car and drive away.
that's a heck of a commute, man. That's all
know.
the way across country. It's more than a drive.
Okay, to take a flight.
Yeah.
Okay, we will talk about it later, not now. Yeah, man. Yeah.
But what is one, you and I, Alexander and Wolfgang, you're in this now. What is a miracle that has happened for one of you guys in the last, let's just say week? Let's say in the last week, what is something miraculous that has happened in your world?
Wolfgang, you go first.
Well, I mean, one miracle was like coming in and seeing you both interview your session. That was a miracle. And what happened out of these two sessions was literally the last time you had this sticker on your display, which was like, why you don't just ask.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day I went, short story. I'm in a group with a set of people. We work on a daily basis since 2,497 days. This is almost 7 years. And in this group, it's a journey with Robin Sharma about habits. There is one thing which came up 6 years ago, 6.5 years, about having a weekly sauna. You must know, I'm living in the countryside in the middle of nowhere, and there is no spa or sauna or swimming pool unless I would go half an hour driving with a car. But one gentleman showed up on my parking 2 or 3 days after Mumbai. I came back from Mumbai and the gentleman showed up on my parking. This is a miracle. This does not happen here. And he looked for me. So he came here and he created in the last 2 years a retreat place, and he created a sauna. So literally the next day, every Friday, I walk at 4 o'clock in the morning for 1 hour to his place. I make a fire at 5 o'clock in the morning, and at 6 o'clock in the morning, we go into the sauna. This is my morning ritual every Friday. It's like 5 hours, 2 hours walking, 2 hours sauna, wonderful conversation, everything between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. So I went the next day to him, and I'm still creating my journey to Arizona. So I was sitting with him 2 days ago on Friday, and I asked him. Actually, we were sitting in the sauna, and he enrolled himself into the breathing and into the circle of men, which I'm running. And afterwards, we sat together in his restaurant, and I met one of his best friends just 3 weeks before. We were sitting in the restaurant, and your sentence came to me, why you don't just ask? Because I had a wonderful connection to this man, and he said he wants to breathe and he wants to be in the circle. So I invited my friend, can you call him? Can you call him and enroll him today? And later on, we spoke about the document creation. We talked about the book, and I told him, I bring you a book. He was committed to read the book. So in the afternoon, I came and brought him the book. And he said, I spoke to my friend. He is all in. He will create a room 509 in Vienna, and he will come with a friend to the breathing. So your question opened me being there and asking a question I wouldn't have asked that way. So being on your call was a miracle. What I heard on the call was gold, and the next day I applied that instantly, and it created possibilities. So, and that's the reason why I'm so excited to be here, because I experienced the power of this call, and a week later I'm in the call, which is wow.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's a great story, great miracle.
Means a lot, and also I want to acknowledge you for taking action ASAP, like you applied it on the next day. Alicia shared lately something on LinkedIn about I think it was in German, but doesn't matter, I will translate right now. why do most of like leadership development programs suck, but it also is applicable for all sorts of personal development stuff, reading books, going to seminars, and so on. Majority of people just does that and gets the information. It's cool, but they don't really apply. And if they do, as far as I can tell, most of us don't stick with it.
Mhm.
So it is basically a good entertainment, and to be honest, waste of money, right?
Right.
So if you want to really have something different, the only way I see is to change something, right? To shift something. And it can include who you are, your understanding of who you are, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with someone else, let's say your spouse or your business partner, your client, your whoever, your neighbor, and everything in between: life, weather, politics, economy. I know for many of you, last year was challenging.
Mm.
And just shifting the perspective, everything's different. You are different. You see stuff differently. And you start seeing opportunities where you can just take action on them and create whatever you want. And with whatever you want, I'm not exaggerating. The limits I have is the only limits I believe in. The limits I have in my head and thoughts that I pump them up with meaning and importance and Velcro myself to them. This is self-sabotage. Essentially, self-sabotage. And there are very different flavors of that, but essentially this is preventing you from taking action, doing something cool, something useful, something awesome for your organization, for your family, for yourself, for your clients, for whoever is in your life or the planet, right? We have an epidemic of loneliness, we have all sorts of stuff, so everyone can contribute. And what happens instead, like we scroll on social media, I see the irony in this. There's 3 dudes talking on social media about the harm of social media. Really, really one thing, what do you want? Then why not now? And why don't you just ask? And take action ASAP. Like that stuff is, guys, the value of this stuff is really, really high. Like what we're sharing with you now, this is super, super valuable stuff, really gold. I'm not trying to be falsely modest with you, as you see. I used to be. And we're all about growth. We're all about Wolfgang in his way, Tony in his amazing way, and yours truly as well. So whatever you wish, be clear. This is what I want. And then you can ask yourself, why not now?
Right.
Then you can ask yourself, okay, who can I speak with? How can I ask? Why don't I ask just someone about this? Because if you're I think this is Byron Katie, incredible Byron Katie, who said, if you're willing to ask 1,000 people, you will get whatever you want. There's literally no limit to this. Tony, I have a sense you want to jump in and share something, or welcome.
Well, no, I just want to thank you for that. That was amazing. And I agree. And it's, we had our conversation with Chris Doris where we pulled some of that gold out of there. And one of Chris Doris's best friend, Devin Bandison, him and I are fairly close as well. And it was actually a video of Devin and being at the Game Changer with him. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mine's out there. I was looking at it again today. But one of the things it started with the questions I got from Devin, and then moved into the ones from Chris, and combined, they're amazing stuff. And the questions that I got from Devin were actually from Steve Chandler's. Yep, I got that one in there too. From Steve Chandler's ACS, online ACS school. And Devin says, one, the first question he always asks is, what do you want to create? 2, what do you think is keeping you from getting there? And then the third one that I added myself was, who do you need to be to get there? And you take those 3 and you add the ones we're just talking about. What do you want is very similar to what you want to create, and then why not now? And why don't you just ask? I like a lot of Jack Canfield's stuff too. And in his book, The Success Principles, he talks about how you have to become an asshole. You have to become an ass. You have to ask for what you want. It's not meaning, you want to bully people or push people away, but the answer is always no, unless you ask. So you always have to, if you don't ask, you're never going to get an answer.
Yeah. And Tony, why not bullying people? Like, I used to have so much fears and overthinking around, oh, I will disturb, I will intrude. I don't want to nerve them, like, and be annoying, or why not, or harassing. If this is for the greater good, if this is actually for service for someone, I mean, one of my doctors actually can be really annoying, right? And giving you like messages or something saying, I love that because this is for my benefit.
Right.
If I am annoyed, what do you think? Whose problem is this? Is this the problem of my doctor, or is it my problem actually that I am annoyed?
It's your problem.
And we used to blame, we blame people all the time, right? We complain, we blame, we finger point. This is not serving anyone.
Mm-mm.
And if you can see clearly for just a little bit, if you're willing to see a bit more clearly, 5% more clearly, you will see this is for your service. And if this is for service, why the hell not yell from rooftops? Why the hell not annoy someone? You can learn from everything. Actually, you cannot screw up.
Mm-mm.
If this is for the greater good. So there's nothing wrong with taking up space.
Right.
People think also, I used to think, oh, I'm taking up someone else's space and time. Shit, no. This is also my space and my time.
Yep.
I can be in my leadership and take it. Right? So I'm a little bit on my rage. I'm stopping my rage.
It's wonderful. It's such a great energy. It's beautiful.
Thank you. And by the way, when I listen to you, Wolfgang, talking, I'm just coming from gym. A very good workout, so I'm in very high energy right now. But when I listen to you talking, I'm getting already calmed down and chilled and very zen. So I just pay attention to the energy of the presence of Wolfgang. Even on this, I used to experience this, by the way, in Birmingham at the Being event, which is all around the community that is around this book, The Ultimate Coach. This book should have called the Book of Being. If you ask me, that's okay. I experienced this live once. It was I will keep my memory and cherish the memory for the rest of my days, and just pay attention to the quality of the presence. By the way, if you are an executive, a leader, a change maker, pay attention to the quality of the presence of this guy.
Right.
Because this will give you a sense of deep inner work he did and still doing. This is all compounding. This is compounding, and he gets interest rates through whatever miracles he creates.
Yeah.
And this is true for everyone. This is true for Tony. This is true for Steve. This is true. Steve, if you watch this, we love you. I invited him. He cannot be here, but he will maybe watch the recording. So whoever is watching, I love you all. You are awesome. You are much more powerful than you think. I really mean that.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to add something to the point of why you don't just ask.
Mm-hmm.
There is something what I heard and learned a couple of years ago, which really opened me to the possibility to ask literally anybody. And that is you cannot say anything wrong to the right person. Just get that.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot say anything right to the wrong person. Get that.
Yeah.
And how powerful that is to know who is who. So asking immediately creates a clarity. And if somebody is really annoyed, let's say, it can be that the person goes away and that's fine. But when you realize it's for your benefit, you will come back with an attitude of, I'm sorry. It's okay if somebody goes away. It's not a problem. Somebody's going. If somebody's going and staying away, it's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about that I don't make it up to be bad.
Right.
It's not about having regret. It's about sending blessing and love towards this person, so the person can go ahead. And I love you both, and you're amazing. And thank you for this space here. It's just an honor.
Yeah, and you're right, and I love how both of you presented that. And we're all talking about being people pleasers. We're all worried about. We spend time worrying about what other people think. One of the statements in my document is, I am not here to impress anyone other than myself. What other people think of me is none of my business.
That's literally also in mine. Like, I am that. What others think about me is none of my business.
Yeah,
it's literally in mine.
And it's so true, because when you spend your time worried about what other people think, then you're not worried. You're not doing what's good for you. And like you were saying earlier, Alexander, we literally hold ourselves back. It's that our limitations are literally what we create here. That's all it is. It's not limitations somebody else put on us. It's the limitations we create in our own minds. And so it's huge that we recognize that. And I love some of these comments that are coming in. By the way, you can tell I get to throw these up on the screen. These comments are great, by the way, guys. Keep them coming.
Absolutely.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, just share with us.
Yeah. But yeah, so when we spend more time focused on what it is we really want and not worrying about the outside, then it's easier for us to get there.
Yeah, just to add, I mean, it is okay to worry. I used to judge that a lot. I used to beat myself up a lot for this. For when I'm like feeling down, low energy, or I'm like angry at something, pissed off, worrying, sad, and fear. It is okay. Nobody ever got a feeling wrong.
Right.
I repeat, nobody ever got a feeling wrong, and it is okay to feel that. And you can also shift this just like this, which is also a big part of my work that I've been doing with my class. First, with myself, I've learned to do that myself. I used to get back to the story of breathing. I used to be very competitive fella, not a pleasant one to be around. Extremely successful in my job, in the digital world of products and services. I was a rock star. I was rocking and rolling and helping other people also to learn, but also from a place of ego and from a place of competitiveness and from a place of, I gotta crush it, harder, faster, more. And there was a huge void inside, and I was trying to close this void inside with the outside shiny stuff, like what is your position, how much do you make, making good money back then. Still am, even better. All that stuff, right? What type of vacation are you booking? On the ego trip, people hated to be around me. I think I hated to be around myself even more. And what I have been doing to myself essentially led to a burnout. And I could tell you two stories about this. One is about how challenging it was and not easy, and and I had suicidal thoughts and all the jazz, right? Or I will tell you the story, which I personally prefer, about that was the best damn thing ever happened to me. That's a fucking gift. This is the biggest gift maybe in my life. The life gave to me to learn. And I learned. And I listened. And I started to, okay, I gotta change something. This is something way off. And I'm not continuing, because if I continue, I am dead, literally. I'm going to jump from the bridge or do something else. Like, guys, if you are, by the way, very important, if you have suicidal thoughts, if you experience challenges, if you experience mental wealth issues or stuff, pay attention, by the way, to my language. I'm not telling you mental, I'm telling you mental wealth experiences. Get yourself help, please, because I did, and they told me, okay, you have to wait several months until you get access to someone to speak. Okay, all right, I'm not waiting. I'm not putting my hands into the I'm doing something with this. I started researching, and one of the things that helped was meditation, and meditation around breathing, MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. I repeat, mindfulness-based stress reduction. Wolfgang knows this. One of the main things that can help. So I started meditating, so guided meditations on my phone. And guys, I had a breakthrough. Like I literally saw what I've been doing to myself once in a meditation. I started crying. I wasn't able to stop crying for hours. I saw what a person I created from myself, from the innocent place of not knowing. And I realized I don't have to. And I made a series of choices just in an instant. And this practice, conscious breathing, you can also tell, or like guided breathing, helped me reconnect with myself, with my true self, with my essence, with who I am, with my soul, if you wish, with my heart, if you wish, with life, with the universe, with everyone, and with people. It made all the difference, essentially leading to I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I'm living my life on my terms. I'm creating nonstop. I'm having a ball. I had a vacation last time. I didn't. It was the first time in my life I didn't need a vacation. I was not exhausted. This is all the result of those shifts and keeping going on and keeping doing the work and having my own support systems and coaches and mentors and everyone and people like Wolfgang and Tony, who I learn from constantly. Like, pay attention to what people you talk. Are you like having a feeling something? Oh, I need to take a shower after this conversation, or this conversation was refreshing. It's like literally like swimming in a lake. Pay attention to your energy levels and learn from this, because I did. And breathing was crucial for me to stay alive. This is one way. If you experience challenges, I invite you to A, get professional help, and B, take action. Try breathing, try meditation, try mindfulness, try something that resonates with you. And if we're lucky, we'll experience a little bit of Wolfgang's magic with us today. So stay tuned. Don't switch away. Don't scroll away or click away. Stay with us.
I want to acknowledge you for sharing that story, Alexander. I mean, almost anybody, myself included, that I know of, has gone through some sort of crash in their life, and that crash has usually led to great things. Same thing happened with me. And I mean, even we talk about Steve Hardison, you know, if you've read The Ultimate Coach, you see where he went. He went to a full crash and came out of it to where he is now. You know, mine was after the first Ultimate experience in Arizona. I let my ego get in the way too. I was a full-time coach. I was rolling in it. I was helping people and making more money than I made in my corporate world, doing great, loving life. Went to the Ultimate experience, met everybody, got to know everybody, got to meet Steve, chat with Steve and Amy, and got this brilliant idea that I'm going to run my own event, you know. And I spoke with Eric and a couple people, and they're like, well, would you like to do another Ultimate experience? I was like, no, I want to do my own. Again, ego got in the way. And I said, I want to do my own thing. So I went out and I got people like Les Brown, Tom Ziegler. I had all kinds of big names lined up and poured everything into this, financially and personally. And long story short, it never came off. And it was that was the crash for me. Well, there's been more in the past, but the most recent crash for me was that. And when I say crushing, so all this time for close to a year, I'm working on building around this event and promoting this event and getting this thing going. Well, I stopped redoing clients. I stopped looking for new clients. I stopped renewing clients. And so when I had to cancel this event, I not only had spent all of the money we had, I had no income because I had no more clients. I had one client that was a low dollar client. And so I'm left going, what do I do now? And we ended up selling our house. We ended up moving into an apartment. We ended up, and now down here, you know, I'm working for somebody else for the first time in a long time, because I was full-time entrepreneur. And so it's again, but it's coming out the other way. What's great about it is learning from those experiences. What we learn from those experiences is invaluable. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. It's the best damn thing that could have happened. Yes. Mental toughness mantras. So anyway, that's the short version. The long version of that story is much more in depth, but that is definitely, that was the crash that happened. And I'm like you, Alexander, I'm so incredibly blessed to have an amazing wife and son who are stood by through everything, through thick and thin. And our son, so there's a chapter I wrote for my book that I didn't actually make it into the book, but it's called My Son is My Hero. And this is, so Marcus, if you guys watched my post yesterday, we just got his senior pictures back. He's graduating high school this year. When we moved from Washington State to Florida in 2018, he was 11 years old, and we moved for a job, and we moved 2 months before Hurricane Michael, the Category 5 that tore right through Panama City, right where we were living, and we wrote it out.
Can you explain for people who don't know what that means? 5 from how many stages and how severe is this?
Okay, so yeah, there's Category 1 through 5 in hurricanes, and a Category 5 means that you had sustained winds of 155 miles per hour or more, not gusts, sustained. So for 3 hours, the wind was blowing at 155 miles an hour or more. That's like, literally, it looked like,
that's intense.
Yeah, it looked
Very
like some
intense.
chainsaw to the whole area and just chopped everything right off. It was crazy. But anyway, so we had just gotten into a house and we went under contract for this house with an understanding that our house in Seattle, when it sold, we would close on this house. So we were living there, bought all new furniture. This hurricane happens. And long story short, the contract fell through because they weren't going to get it repaired in time. And so we had to move out again, all furniture. So Marcus has moved across country from Seattle to Florida with us, get started in a new school, we get established in this house. Then we have to, and this is after staying with a friend for 5 weeks. And then we get established in this house. So that's 2 moves already. Then we have to leave and we put all of our stuff in the storage and we stayed in Airbnb after Airbnb for 3 months. So one to the other. So that's 5 moves Marcus had in like 6 months. 5 moves he stuck with us through in 6 months. Then we bought our house, finally bought our house there, stayed there until this event. When this event didn't come off, we had to sell that house to cover some of the expenses, moved into an apartment. So that's move number 7. and then we moved down here and moved him away from his high school. So Marcus, everything, he doesn't complain. When he needs the help, he helps. When we need his help, he helps. I mean, you might get the teenager, but he doesn't actually verbally complain. And that's what I mean. My son is my hero.
Yeah. And Tony, wow. One thing. And second thing about your son, knowing you, I'm not surprised.
Thank you.
Kudos to son, sending him a big warm hug. Yeah. Incredible stuff. Yeah, guys, what do you think? Bob, like, share your reactions with us. I want to see more of your reactions if you want to. Wolfgang, do you want to say something?
Well, I want to acknowledge you both for some very personal, vulnerable share, which is an encouragement for people to share something where we usually think that is something what we shouldn't share. I think weakness is strength. To be playing strong and staying in it, it's literally not getting out of it. So thank you for being an example and sharing these things. And I have the feeling I really get to know you both today here. What is really about why I make men's circles since 20 years, where I thought I'm missing trusted, powerful connections with men, which is not about who they are in their job and success, but what is your story? What is your family? And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and really to show, thank you for your acknowledgement. Oh, brother, that's my brother, by the way, he was on the screen. The best brother on this planet and every other planet I'm aware of or not aware of. In any universe there is, there was, or will be. So glad to see him. Yes. If you show vulnerability, this is actually a sign of strength, a huge sign of people can relate, people can relax, and people can also be open with you. And to every leader showing interest in this and paying at least half of potential with what we're speaking about, we're sharing life-changing stuff here. Both gentlemen are sharing gold with you. If you're a leader, if you're a parent, like this book, parenting is leadership.
Yeah.
Right. Being a nurse and you have, people yelling, like 20 people in the room yelling, yeah, please help, please help. This is also leadership. It's all applicable. So being vulnerable, being real with, I'm not saying like do, soul striptease. Be like, if you want, why not? If it serves, but actually being vulnerable serves you, it serves people, it creates connection. And we are in the loneliness epidemic. Yeah. People are getting more and more lonely. So mental wealth stuff, statistics are changing, not in the way I would love to see them changing. Suicide statistics are changing. People feel more and more lonely, and despite the abilities to connect, like we are connected on this call right now, you still feel lonely. You can be in a room full of people, 500 people, and feel lonely. So what is the antidote to this? Actually, this is human connection and skills that are required to create human connections. We're losing those skills. The more we scroll, the more we are in the digital world. There are certain advantages of this. Don't take me wrong. I used to build this stuff in the digital arena, right? Used to be my job. So guilty. And there is a way to learn this. And I would say even this is the natural, this is default. If you look at small kids, 2 years old, 3 years old, how they connect, they just do it. It's easy, it's fun, they have a ball. And we think, oh, I will bother people, I will do this, I will do that, I should keep my shit, like, look as if I would keep my shit together, look as if everything is always great, like false positivity. Just be a human. Allow yourself to be a human 5% more. How does that look like? And people will relate 5% more. And you have 5% better relationships, or be caring 5% more. How does this look like? Be empathetic 5% more. A big part of my work is about this, bringing back care, bringing back humanity, and bringing back love. Don't switch off. I mean it. I don't mean it like romantic love, but I mean human connection, actually from heart to heart, the universal energy behind everything and anything that is everywhere and available, but only always. So I am bringing back love, care, and humanity to the world of corporate and leadership. This is my mission. This is my passion. This is what I do professionally and get very well paid for this. So don't switch off, because we are losing this connection. We are losing the skills to create the connection. And people feel this. They feel, oh, they treat me like a resource. Why do I have to care? And they stop caring. And this costs a lot of money, and this costs a lot of opportunity. This is in every organization, even in NGOs, like treating people like resources, like essentially objects, objectivizing people. This is not serving you. This is not serving your organization. Even in marriages, even relationship with kids can be extremely transactional. Oh, what are you doing for me? I'm loving you if you're behaving well. I'm loving you if you're listening to me. I'm loving you if you're doing this. Oh, you have good grades. Excellent. I love you. You have shitty grades. Go fuck yourself. How often do we do this? I used to do that a lot. I'm looking at places where I can do less of this and be more loving. And everything that I experience as a miracle comes from this shift, guys. I totally mean this. And Steve is a huge, Steve Hardison is a huge, huge, huge help for me to be more loving and be more human and be more uniquely me. Even if it means fucked up in some cool way, I don't care. If they judge, if someone is watching right now and judging me hardcore, okay, not my problem. But guys, my invitation to you is to ask yourself a question. If I am 5% more alive, how does this look like? What do I do? What do I do less of? How do I show up differently? What's the difference? Do I want to play with this, experiment with this, and not just, don't trust me blindly, please, right? Just play with this and test it. So this again, my prayer for today, and I want to actually invite Wolfgang. Wolfgang, shall we count down, especially me, after this, and breathe a little bit, because I think I would benefit the most from your superpowers right now.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Excellent.
Thank you for everything you shared. What was so, I couldn't have said it better in the way what it can do for somebody, from a testimonial, what it did for you. And so thank you very much for everything you shared. And what you shared is, I want to connect something. You talked about we are in a pandemic of loneliness. How did you say it?
Pandemic of loneliness. I think Steve Chandler, lifelong client of Steve Hardison, shared this somewhere, and I really resonated with that one. Like, this is exactly what's happening, even for kids.
But what was the word? You said a word.
The pandemic of loneliness.
But you said loneliness. You said it in one word.
Loneliness epidemic or something.
Exactly. I want to say something about that. Why breathing helps with that. Because what we are lonely of is we are lonely of ourselves. There is a difference in being in solitude, which is a conscious being alone, or being a victim of feeling alone. And this feeling alone is feeling disconnected from myself. literally being lost. It's not a loneliness, it's a lostness. It's a not being connected to my inner core. And we can connect to the outside as much as we want. It doesn't fill our cup of being connected, because nothing can fill this cup but connection to yourself.
Yes.
And I invite you to take a breath together for a couple of minutes. We don't take long, just some more. And I invite you consciously to feel how you feel now, just as a reference, not about good or bad, just to feel. Close your eyes, please. This is a possibility to just experience how you breathe, how you feel. There might be nervosity, anxiety, or thoughts. And I invite you not to judge it, but just to observe. And then I invite you into the next step by taking the next inhale consciously and observe how your body instantly reacts upon that. And I invite you, when you listen to your body by taking this conscious inhale, you listen to the inside. Your body speaks to you instantly. And I encourage you to allow the move which is there. Your body wants to move. This can be a micro move, or this can be a stretch. This can be like you need to stand up. I invite you to be everything your body wants, what your body needs, what your body tells you, because you listen. And I invite you to slightly open your lips. When our lips are together, it's like they're glued. They're glued together. When you slightly open the lips and you have this inhale, which is a cool breeze flowing into your body, I invite you to feel how this inhale is creating a force in your belly, which is arising and opening your mouth. And a yawn occurs. And I invite you to allow that. This is something which is a no-go in our society. And therefore is a big resistance to allow that. And I invite you to risk something and to allow this natural reflex to occur. And when you breathe in, I invite you to see how your spine is straightening slightly up. With the inhale, your head is going slightly back. Your shoulders are moving slightly straight. You're not moving anything, it's this breath. And with this inhale, the tendons of your arms is going up and stretching. And I invite you, take a conscious inhale and allow your body to open, your arms to rise, your mouth to open, and allow this beautiful force in your jaws, opening your mouth like a lion. And with the exhale, I invite you to allow your voice, like a lion, have this stretch and open, yawn, and feel how different that is than usually being in a Zoom room with 3 people. And breathe every judgment out and literally just experience what this one deep conscious breath created. I invite you to listen, taking the next conscious inhale, and observe how this comes again. There is again the opening of the chest, the rising of the arms, the opening of the mouth. And just as an idea, in this state of being relaxed, when we really listen and follow our body, your body would non-stop yawn and stretch. And just experience that what is there without judgment. The difference between listening to the body and allowing it and being how we are as a society. It's a difference of being relaxed, powerful, and healthy. And I send this out as an encouragement to explore this place. Take one conscious inhale, stretch consciously, open your mouth fully with a voice, and exhale and open your eyes.
Woo! Yeah.
I invite you to be for a moment and take the freedom to share something, and also take the freedom not to say anything. And keep breathing.
If you did this exercise with us, I invite you to share your insights, what happened, descriptions of what happened, what you feel, what difference it made for you. I'm much more relaxed. I'm in a place of peace, calm, joy, and very much more zen. The energy I had was very high energy. It's not a bad one, it's just a different one. And I very enjoyed this one, particularly right now in the evening before preparing to go to sleep. And I can be very creative also in this space. And I can create different sorts of type of energy when I speak with my wife, for example. Or if I would speak with a client, it would be a different conversation, essentially. How I am right now is shifted. I like the shift, and this happened in no time. How long was this? 7 minutes? You tell me. If you didn't do this, I invite you to rewatch the recording. Maybe be alone in your room if it's easier for you. Maybe if you can invite your family, friends, colleagues to be with you, do that. It is also freaking hilarious to do that together in a room of people. I did this with Wolfgang once in Birmingham. It's a fun thing. People start yawning and it is very orgasmic. By the way, we get to invite Safa, Tony, next time when we speak and talk about sex and talk about body and talk about body pleasures and desires, because this is a big taboo, right? Which is connected to yawning and making noises while you breathe in our society. Somehow, very natural stuff, big taboo. I invite you to pay a little bit less attention about taboos and just be yourself 5% more if you want, because this is my agenda. This is what I need, and this is what I will do after this call. Be myself 5% more. Be human 5% more. Breathe consciously 5% more. This is what I'm taking away, besides shift in my being and who I am right now. and the energy. Thank you, Wolfgang.
I would like to add two things. First of all, when you experienced this not as easy, that's totally natural and fine, because we are coming from a total suppression of that. Literally, we are entirely suppressed in our natural reflexes. So please don't feel any shame or guilt because you did not succeed in the way you thought. That's the reason why we take time. The process is a ongoing weekly process where people have no pressure to need to succeed in anything. So in the weekly breathing, we have time. Having no pressure is such an important thing. So please feel no pressure that you should have experienced something. I gave really the picture of where it goes, and what you felt possibly is where you are, and this is possibly since decades. So don't put any pressure on you. That's the one thing. And the other thing is, I would like to get rid of a false belief. When you're going to sleep, you don't need to be exhausted. You can be entirely energized, but calm. And what you said, Alexander, you are full of energy now. You can go to sleep with that. Or you stretch, yawn, take a deep breath, and you start your day. So this place is pure energy which doesn't get activated, and you can literally choose in which direction you want to go. And that is the practice we are learning over time, to become master of our energy and not need to be exhausted, or maybe need a glass
Or
of
stressed.
wine so we go to bed and all this stuff. We can drink a wine, but this is for a reason and not for going to sleep or whatever. We create this space within ourselves. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for being the best freaking guest on the planet right now with
Right?
us. This was awesome. Guys, this is gold. I know people who would pay shitload of money for this and for what this does for them. Just check out Wolfgang, what he does. He creates miracles with people in his magical space where people breathe. They start breathing after years, because I used to not breathe for such a long time, stressing myself out. Not my environment was stressing, or my boss. I used to blame my boss, by the way. Hi, boss, if you're watching this, I love you. This was me. This was me doing this to myself. I wasn't even breathing properly. I had to learn again how to breathe. So Wolfgang is a true magician. You've experienced this. If you're like did half-assed, I'm not telling you half-assedly, but if you want to redo this, rewatch this again, and just experience this again, and just allow yourself to be 5% more in this. And if you judge yourself, put it aside just for a moment. You can always get back to your judgments and thoughts, and just experience the magic of breathing. This is extremely simple, and it gets you to the place of calm. And in this place of calm, you are absolutely freaking creative. And you heard Tony typing right now because we're chatting here. This thing, shall I let the bomb explode right now, Tony? Let's do this.
Yeah, we got like 1 minute, then I got to go to another call.
Yeah. This stuff is regular right now.
Yeah.
And we have a very special guest next time. I'll not tell you who, but this will blow your mind. So stay tuned. Wolfgang, thank you so much.
Thank you
for
so
who
much.
you are, for your service. I love you. You are incredible. You are the magician and the miracle.
Yes. Thank you so much. Love you guys and love everybody here. Thank you so much.
Thank
Carrie,
you, Tony.
My sister. Glad you
Carrie, hey. Howard.
Hi, Carrie.
Guys, everybody who's watching, we love you. Reach out to either of us or don't, but take care.
Thank you so much. I love you.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Miracles. Bye-bye.